So yeah, 2 more of this. So let's continue. Woo! So yeah, besides, this is another episode of me comparing US to UK ghosts. And I like it. There's not a lot to talk about in this sort of section because, like I've said before, there's not really any sort of, besides I like it, and there's one specific moment that I sort of like, which sort of changes which sort of shows a lot of, I think, some of the big differences. There's not a lot to talk about in the non-spoiler section. So why don't we go to the spoiler section? Okay, what is there to talk about? There's the episode right there. Episode 4. And this is the one thing that I want to talk about it that shows the difference. Which is, by the way, there's a party. Oh, 8 and 6. Oh, I prepared it for people of 80 years old. And they're accidentally children. And it's like the awkward, the cringe, the sort of like, oh no, we have to prepare something. Or people will sue us or we'll be in trouble. It's a lot darker than, but I think just search UK versus US, you can kind of tell that UK has a lot of darkness versus US. Like, I think there was a series of, like, Faulty Towers or whatever the series was. Where it's, like, a hotel, a management, and ends up with, like, the inspector, and, there's Rat. It's a lot darker. But, again, a lot of people have said that. And this series ends up, that sort of starts off being talked about in season 5, which is they have this sort of business, and then it burns down. But I'm not going to talk about that yet. Yeah, the gatehouse. I'm not going to talk about what happens in season 5, but it does leave a cliffhanger of, and the gatehouse destroyed, which is basically, in the US one, they have like this business of like all of this selling stuff, which they're doing well. The UK sort of does a bit well until like season 5, where it all goes downhill, but you can kind of tell they're sort of ending it, wrapping it up. But yeah. I do sort of think it's interesting. So with all of that being said, and all of that wrapping up, what's the final point to all of this? Why am I saying all of this? Is there no point, any point? Is there a banana of a point? Anyway. Like I keep saying, they're just different. Do I prefer the US one? Yes. But that's because I'm a person who actually has questions of, like, if you have, like, they've shown evidence of, like, items come out of us. If you have, let's say, a chocolate bar, and then you eat the chocolate bar, and then you dissolve the chocolate bar, does it then reappear? Or what happens? Obviously, the bathroom is used, obviously, and then it goes back up, and it's really weird. But the other thing that I have questioned is, if you have an iPad, does it constantly have the same amount of charge and all the stuff, videos that you can watch on it? Or does that basically non-exist? If you have a downloadable thing on it, does it basically stay there? If I have a phone, can I call someone, theoretically? Because when I died, I had cell service, and the item never changes, so I can basically call anyone from any location. Can I call the living if I have a phone with me? If I have a item like a gun that can be shot off, does the gun just reload itself with all the empty bullets? Again, these are the questions I think of all the time about, like, what is possible, what is not. And in the US one, they start to, like, question that, think about that, and have these, like, things about, like, oh, what will work and what won't work. Again, my type. Where it's like, now, how do I figure out if this is true or fake? Again, my type of madness, in a way. So yeah, I 100% recommend for you to watch this. So yeah, go and watch it. It's entertaining as hell.